This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good morning. Welcome to your morning newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Let's get to the news in detail. The Irfan Ali administration has made multiple promises about being transparent in its stewardship of the oil sector, but has not delivered on some accounts. This latest issue adds yet another notch to the government's failed commitments. The government is not living up to its commitment to release oil reports to the press. Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo made this commitment during a February 9th press conference after being asked about it by Kaieteur. Yet, we had made at least 10 attempts since the promise was made to access the reports through the Ministry of Natural Resources. The minister told us on Wednesday that he would make contact on the next day, Thursday, but he did not. It is understood that de facto oil minister Dr. Jagdeo did not immediately greenlight the release of the reports, and that this is the cause of the holdup. And now let's tell you, it is public knowledge that when ExxonMobil initially encountered technical issues with its gas compressor at the Liza Destiny vessel, former EPA head Dr. Vincent Adams took the decision to slash Exxon's production to curtail the ensuing environmental damage. Dr. Adams had cut production low enough so that Exxon was only able to flare 12 to 15 million cubic feet of natural gas per day. But this time around, the company is flaring 16 million cubic feet daily, while production remains at 120,000 barrels per day. Exxon's justification for this was a need for revenues in Guyana, so said president of its local headquarters, Alistair Routledge. With this in mind, Dr. Adams said that Routledge's pronouncement should anger all of Guyana, as it adds to the list of excuses the company belts out to validate its continued environmental damage. And moving on, Shadow Minister of Oil and Gas David Patterson has singled out the coalition's intention of laying a motion to stop the dumping of produced water into the ocean. Produced water is a term used in the oil industry to describe water that comes up in a well with oil and gas and is usually high in salinity. After leaving the well, the produced water is separated from the oil and gas. It can also be referred to as formation water, salt water, or oil field brine. Patterson spoke of a number of environmental infractions committed by ExxonMobil, including its flaring of natural gas and dumping of produced water into the ocean. And moving on, a 22-year-old man who was arrested for the murder of a pensioner whose burnt body was found in the compound of Huaxin supermarket in Enmore was yesterday remanded to prison. The defendant, Marco Sweetat, a laborer of Fowlis, East Coast Demerara, was not required to plead to the charge, which alleged that last February 22nd he murdered 72-year-old Mathuro Itwaru. It was reported that on Monday morning, a motionless Itwaru was found lying on the northern side of the supermarket with burn marks to his upper parts of his body. And with that said, let's tell you a 47-year-old businessman and his family of Area G. Ogle were on Thursday evening terrorized by two gunmen who invaded their home and relieved them of their cell phones, an undisclosed sum of jewelry, and a large amount of cash. Reports are that businessman Sadiq Yassin, his wife Zabida Yassin, and their 17-year-old son were attacked by gunmen sometime around 21 hours 15. Sadiq and his family were standing in front of their yard when they noticed a white Allian motor car that drove up to the parapet. We understand that no CCTV footage was retrieved from the area and no arrest has been made since. However, investigations are still ongoing. And finally, let's tell you the government has extended the gazetted COVID-19 measures for the month of March, meaning that all measures from the February month have been retained. Despite monthly calls for the reopening of cinemas, the Gazette clearly outlines cinemas are to remain closed. However, drive-in cinemas are permitted.
And that's the news of the moment. Remember to get the full
plus extra data.